Hello everybody, how's it going today? Chelsea Face here. I am really excited to tell you guys all of the books that I read in the month of December last year, so 2019. I'm a little late getting this out, so I apologize for that, but I have had a lot going on and I've been getting other videos out. I have been in a filming frenzy, really feeling it this year. I'm really excited of all the new videos that I'm going to be putting out for the year of 2020. So if you're new here, please feel free to subscribe. I put out bookish content all the time, and then I occasionally do a vlog here or there. I just really enjoy reviewing books and talking about books and getting book recommendations from you guys. So let's just jump into this. The first book that I read this month was an audiobook, and it was The Chain by Adrienne McKenty. It was published this year, or 2019, last year. And I do a lot of commuting for my job, so I had a lot of time to listen to an audiobook, so that's what I chose to do. And it was through the Libby or some type of library app where you get like free audiobooks. It's very specific ones. You don't get everything, but with your library card. So it was free for me to listen to. And if you haven't done that, I recommend it. It's really nice having free audiobooks. The base idea of the book was fantastic. I really like the idea of, there's this chain that, like the chain emails they used to do back in the 90s. Someone initially sends you a chain thing and it says like, you have to do this or you'll be in trouble. And so that's the premise of this book, is that somebody kidnaps this woman's daughter and they say that you have to do the same thing. You have to kidnap someone's daughter and then pay a ransom, and then you'll get your daughter back. And it just continues and continues. So everybody keeps kidnapping each other's kids and they have to pick the right person, and it's very complicated and it's very scary and threatening and like overwhelming for these parents. And our main character, she's just gotten over her chemo treatment, so she's already like been struggling with money and things like that. And then she's divorced. Her husband's still around with his hot girlfriend and everything. I do think it's a little weird that she was like okay with what her husband did to her. Like they were just totally fine, even though he like left her during her cancer treatment to go with this young woman. Whatever. I just think that's a weird relationship to be okay with, but it's an interesting choice. I like how messed up the idea of the chain was. Like, I like dark subject matter, so that really flew with me. I personally think that anyone who reads this book or listens to it or whatever probably has their own idea of how they would get out of the chain, because, throughout the book, she's like trying to figure out how to break it and how to get out of it, but they keep telling her there's no way, we'll figure you out, we'll kill you and everyone you know. We'll keep killing down the chain backwards until someone fixes it and redoes what they were supposed to do. So it's a lot of pressure on every family to not mess up. And my personal opinion on how to break it would be like to get all these burner phones like she was told to do, get all the clothes, buy some new clothes from like a Walmart or something, somewhere cheap that I know aren't bugged, because they bugged a lot of their house and their electronics and stuff, so I wouldn't know if they bugged my clothes. So I would buy new clothes, maybe rent a car even, to go out into the middle of nowhere where I had never been ever, and they would definitely not have cameras or audio set up. I would call someone of authority, and I would get to someone, and I would keep calling on different burner phones until I got someone to believe me. I would tell them I need my whole family to be taken care of and hidden and protected, and maybe eventually someone would believe me. If they didn't, I'm screwed, whatever, but at least I tried. Like, I would probably still try it. I would never kidnap someone's kid and kill people and stuff just for this, but I feel like I would have to do something even if my child was in danger, just because I couldn't do it. But anyways, everybody has their own theories on how to get out of the chain, I think, if you read it. That was just one of mine. I didn't really go into full detail there, but you get the idea. I didn't like the part where they went to the twins' house. Not spoiling too much, but there's a point where they go to this other place and there's like a gunfight and a physical fight, and it's just lame to me. Like, it didn't feel good and realistic. It just felt real cheesy. And so I just didn't like that part, but it got better and I ended up liking the ending of it really well. This book, I think it might change your mind on having children. Like, as I was listening to it, I was like, man, I don't even know if I want to have kids, because that's something me and my husband, we struggle with. We haven't decided if we want to have kids or not. So this is one of those ones that might change your mind. I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars because I couldn't give half stars on Goodreads, and I wanted to give it more of like a 3.75 or 3.5, but I ended up giving it a 4. It's not that close to a 5. I think 4 fits it pretty well for me. It's a good book. I recommend it, but it's definitely not for people who, I think it might have some trigger warnings for like kidnapping and torture and, pain, murder, death, blood, gore, whatever, like certain little things like that. It's not super, super bad. It's just keep it in mind whenever you're reading it. The next book I read this month was Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon Volume 2 and 3. These were both from the library, so I don't have physical books of them either. I think most of the books I have this wrap up aren't with me right now. Weird. First time ever. These are by Nako Takuchi, and they were published between 2011 and 2012, I think. At least the ones that I have. I don't know about anything else. I usually just look in the book and see when it came out. It's just a continuation of Volume 1. If you know Sailor Moon, you'll know what this is about. If not, it's just a girl who's like a normal middle school student, I think. And she's really immature and weird and likes to sleep a lot. And she gets all these powers and becomes a magical girl. And it's really the show and the series that started off the magical girl movement, in my opinion. You could trace it back further, but that's the one that everyone knows about and has the most clout. But it's okay. I mean, I didn't grow up watching it or reading it or anything like a lot of people did that love the series. But I think that I haven't watched the remake, but I think it needs work as far as the plot goes. It's very convenient. Everything that happens is like, oh, well, I'm just so glad this happens to be here. And, oh, you just so happen to be there at the right time. And, oh, you just so happen to have this new weapon or new thing that helps you. And it's just kind of weird to me. Like, it feels like she was just writing it as she went. It's not bad. Like, a lot of anime was that way back in the day. I see the merit in it, so I do still appreciate it. The covers are gorgeous. The Sailor Scouts are really cool designs. I really like them. The characters are getting a little more fleshed out in these volumes, so that's really nice. 2, I think, was my favorite of 1, 2, and 3 that I've read so far, so that's the one I rated the highest. I think I gave Volume 2 4 stars and Volume 3 3 stars. Next, I read One Punch Man Volume 1 and 2. This is the manga by One, which is the writer, and then Yusuke Murata illustrated this version. So it was published in 2015, so it's fairly new. Volume 1 was very fast-paced. I think it might have went a little too fast for me personally. There were so many villains killed within like the first 2 or 3 chapters. Like it felt like I don't know, it was just so fast. I don't remember the anime feeling like that. I did watch the first season of this and it was really good. I recommend the anime too. But the first volume I didn't like that much. I think I gave it 3 stars. But the second volume I gave 4 stars because it was a little slower. It felt more evenly paced and natural. It didn't feel so like, just go. So I liked it more. But these are beautifully illustrated and I like the story so far. And the last thing that I read for December 2019 was Nailbiter Volume 3 by Joshua Williamson and Mike Henderson. And I think some other people helped with the artwork in it. It was published in 2015, and this one's called Blood in the Water, this volume. It was really good. It continues the story. If you don't know what this is about, it is a comic about a town that, for some reason, is producing serial killers. Like, involuntarily producing serial killers. Or it seems that way. Like, let's say it's a small town of like 5,000 people or so, or maybe less, and I can't remember what they said it was. But like a ton of serial killers are born there. And people don't know why. It's really infamous. There's like a gift shop about it there. People are freaking out about it and they do not understand why it's doing this. And there's this cop who gets in trouble and ends up leaving just to go find his friend who went to investigate why it's happening. And so his friend disappears, so he's trying to figure out what happened to his friend while also trying to discover why are these serial killers being born here and what is making them serial killers. Like, it has to be something ecological or geological or something. Like, he doesn't understand what's happening. So it's a story about that. And you end up kind of liking one of the serial killers because he's so interesting and funny and charming. He's a serial killer. So I think in this volume we're actually getting down to what is causing it. And it's kind of supernaturally, if I'm not mistaken. It did kind of end abruptly, so I have to get the next volume to find out if it is supernatural or not. But I am really, really, really enjoying the series so far. It's really pretty to look at. It's not super bright and colorful. It is a little muted, but it is really well done and I really like the art style. It's very bloody and gory though, and a little body horror a little bit. So just be warned for that if you're not into that. I gave this one 5 stars because it's really good. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I think I have one more video to film today and I have so many backlogged, so I hope you get this soon. Anyways, have a fantastic day. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I put up new videos every single week as long as I'm able. And I just love talking about books with you guys. Give it a thumbs up and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys!